at the captains for tonight's ball game. T.J. Johnson, J.C. Goodman is out there, number 21, Adiah Jones, one of the captains, and number 5 this year, Jamari Monette, switched over to number 9 this year. Captains for Ferriday, number 1, Sharon Finister, is out there and unable to see the other, but we'll get it. We appreciate our man Daryl down on the field with that. Travis Broussard is our referee
Ferriday has won
tonight,
the toss. They will
Ferriday
defer.
has won the toss and elected to defer their option to the second half, so those Trojans will receive the ball to get things going. Beautiful night, Coach. It's cooled off out there, and I say that it's not 95 anymore. Down in the 80s, it's supposed to drop down into the upper 70s on there. Hope you're enjoying the new looks. If you happen to be watching this one on Facebook, we appreciate that. You're getting the audio from the game. That's over on our LA 103.5 Facebook page. You'll be able to check that out all throughout tonight, and it's going to stay up there. A couple of extra cameras out there. We hope you enjoyed that along with our radio call tonight. Ready to get this thing underway. Going to be just an explosive offense we're looking for behind the left-handed throwing Joe Bordelon. He's ready to go. Coach, anytime you get a quarterback replacing one that had the success that Judd Barton did, but I mean, they are just about the same type of guy.
Yeah, I got a chance to see him scrimmage a couple of 7-on-7 scrimmages this summer, and Joe looked good throwing the ball. It's a whole different deal when you got a left-hander from a right-hander for last year, so a lot of the receiver things, but they did a good job of catching the ball, running the offense. I think he's been around long enough to know the offense, so that part of it would be good. And they look really sharp. I saw them against St. Thomas More, which is the upcoming opponent. They beat them in the 7-on-7. Of course, that's 7-on-7 now.
Two-time defending state champion in Division I, right, St. Thomas More, with the number 1 recruited quarterback Walker Howard in there. But we'll talk more about that next week as well. But that's going to be a good one to not only come see. And look at the crowd that continues to roll in here. That is so great to see. They're seeing their championship appearing Trojans. Again, you all know the story of that, so we're not going to get back into this. Ferriday ready to kick things off. I am Doug Gann alongside Ernie Lott, getting ready to bring you ASH Trojan football. And it looks like the kicker is lining up to kick some sort of a squib kick because he's pointing directly at the sideline of Ferriday. And so that's and it is. He's going to kick it right over the top. We'll see who's got it over there. That is Jermaine Minor that picks it up. Minor's got it there, and of course, it's just great to be back in the press box this year. The familiar sound of Ronnie Schwartz doing the PA, so we're glad to see that. Just underway, 4 seconds on that kick, and we're ready to unveil this new look Trojan offense. They'll go first to 10 from the 39-yard line is where the Trojans will have it. Bordelon back there, he's got Jarvis Newton back in the backfield. They're going to go with a 2 tight end set. We told you they'll have Minor and Harrington in the backfield. T.J. Johnson, the lone receiver, to the top, one to the near side as well, and that is Dayland Hammond. So you've got 2 big speedsters out there, and the officials are seeing what's going.
You have 2 tight ends, but they got both of them on the same side. They got a split end on the other side, which it's almost like an H-back with the tight ends sitting there.
And they'll move him around a lot, and we said you'd see that's James Harrington, the junior. We'll see him rotate a lot when they go to that 3 wide out set with Mingo.
Ferriday must have lined up in the new.
Bordelon calls for the ball. Newton's got the first one. He's to the 50. Going to make it into Ferriday territory and pick up a first down, give him 13 yards on that carry, and a big Trojan first down to get things started. And that's what you want to do.
That's a good start. You always like a good positive play to start the game. 13 yards, not bad.
Tempo for the Trojans. They stay in that 2 tight end set. Handoff once again goes to Newton. Newton's cut to the near side to the 40. Newton to the 35, 30. Makes a cut back to the middle all the way down to the 22-yard line. And so give Newton about 35, 38 yards rushing on his first 2 carries, Coach.
And I think you're fixing to go, what do you call it, the hurry up?
NASCAR.
NASCAR, yeah. Coach getting a signal there, and he got Ferriday on the heels already.
Staying in that H-back setup with Harrington, looking to pass his first throw of his career there this season, and that is complete out to the near side to Hammond. Hammond is driven out of bounds, but not before the It's going to be close to a first down. They'll mark him at the 10-yard line. That's Dalen Hammond that gets that one, and in fact it is 3 straight plays, Coach, 3 straight first downs.
Another first down for the ASH Trojans.
Getting ready, 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line, 1st and goal. Give it. Newton's going to cut to the outside, back to the inside, gets to the line of scrimmage to the 5, down to the 3, and into the end zone for the touchdown. Jarvis Newton picking up about 50 yards rushing on that opening drive and pays it off with the touchdown.
That's the way you like to see a championship team starting the year.
It is 6-0. Abel Peterman coming in will try the PAT.
He must have found a little weakness on that Ferriday defense on the right off between the tackle and end right there. Both sides have been exploiting it.
Well, that's what you want to do. That kick is up, and it is good. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Trojans take the lead 7-0 on the ASH Radio Network.
Ferriday Trojans 0.
Course of the season. Just 44 seconds into this one and ready to kick things off is Abel Peterman, Jaquarius Davis, and Howard Curry back deep to receive for Ferriday. Peterman comes up, and his strength is that leg. He's been putting it into the end zone with regularity, and that one goes about 8 yards into the end zone, Coach. And we talked to Coach Bogman. He's had that type of kicker the last 4 or 5 years, and what a weapon that is.
No doubt. Every time you have to start in the 20-yard line, that's a big difference in starting at the 30, 35. Most of the time in high school, if you got a kicker, you can kick it to the 10, and then you usually run it back 15, 20 yards. So.
We saw college kickers not making it into the end zone there. What a weapon Abel Peterman is. We will see Ferriday with their first opportunity to have the ball. Going to see who they've got in there at quarterback. Looks like number 8. Is that who you've got, Coach? They spin around, run the ball up the middle a lot. That is number 8. He hands it off to his big running back. In at quarterback is Dylan Boxley. Boxley's going to be the quarterback. Big number 10, LaKyron Williams. Williams in there at running back.
Those goal numbers are kind of hard to see on that white jersey.
Well, apparently we'll get used to those numbers because they like to run that ball up the middle. Loss of a yard they give him, make it 2nd down and 11. Just a little over a minute into this when Trojans strike early on an impressive first drive. Big offensive line for Ferriday. Boxley brings a man in motion. He's going to pitch out, and that ball is on the ground and going to be covered up by number 17. 17 is in there covering it up, and that is Jaquarius Davis. See who hopped in there for the Trojans. Not sure. Coach, did you catch who fell on the ball? Looked to be number 46 for the Trojans, and that, if it was Gary Matthews, the linebacker that Coach Bachman talked a lot about. Brand new names, but the Trojans are continuing to where they left off in that playoff run. Played 5 games in the playoff, only 4 in the regular season. 10:05 to go here, first quarter play. Trojans on top, 7-0. 3rd down and 22 as the run. Boxley's got it, but he's being chased down by Matthews. Was the first man there. He is finished off by number 21 for the Trojans. Adiah Jones, Jamari Monette was in there, but very impressed by the play of 46, Gary Matthews. Just the junior.
Yeah, well, they shot the gaps that time, and it didn't hardly get touched by the Ferriday blocking line that time, and they were in the backfield by the time the quarterback got the ball almost.
Having trouble with the snap on a couple of snaps here in the first. We're at 9.5 to go, first quarter of play. Back deep to punt is number 64. That's Harry Caesar. Back deep to receive is going to be number 3 for the Trojans. That is Mingo. It'll be our first chance. How about the first time you catch it, young man, you take it to the house here in
nice.
Butch Stoker Stadium. He sits around the 41, but I'm not guaranteeing that this punt gets off. And there's going to be a timeout by Ferriday. Going to keep it right here and kind of recap the way things were going, Coach. That first drive was pretty impressive, if you want. Only equaled defensively by the stand that the Trojans made there.
Well, you'd like to see both teams come out. And like I say, I thought the defense would be way ahead of the offense this early in the year, but apparently I was wrong because the offense took it right down the field. Ferriday, to their they're a small school, so you know they probably have about a third of the players that ASH has, and they made some mistakes early. And like I said before, the teams that makes the fewest mistakes early on in the game, I think, is going to come out on top. So
Coach,
far, the Trojans are right on the game.
Coach Stanley and that group, though, just a couple of years away from a state championship, where the only game they lost that season was to ASH. Yeah. That first game, they went on and ran the table all the way to the Superdome for the state championship. Now, we'll see things once again. Back, Harry Caesar is in his own end zone, just, he's about 5 yards deep there, and you'll have to watch this one. Opportunity to be a big play for the Trojans. Again, Mingo stands back at the 37-yard line. Trojans showing pressure, 9:01 to go. Ball rolls around. That's blocked, and it's into the end zone. And if the Trojans fall on it, we'll see. That's a touchdown for the Trojans. And, we talked about that and talked about it, that all they had to do, and the Trojans had all 10 of their guys up on the line, Coach.
Yeah, special teams, especially, not taking anything away from Ferriday, but special teams for a AA school early in the year, you only got so many coaches. They only got 3 coaches to work on everything, and that's one of the things that probably doesn't get the same amount of work as, say, the Trojans do, because they've got, more coaches and more players.
8:53 to go, and the Trojans score special teams wise that time. This Abel Peterman kick is up, and it is good. 14-0. The Trojans have the lead. Going to keep it right here, Coach. And you were making a thought about the offense coming out strong and the defense coming out strong. Well, each unit's been on the field once, and each unit has scored once.
And they've done their job. So I just mentioned Joe Bordelon did a heck of a job that time. The snap was low, and he managed to pick it up and get it on the tee or on the ground for the kick that time. Little things like that, makes a difference.
8:53 to go here, just 3 minutes in to the 2021 season, and the Trojans picking up right where they left off. You get that sense of not rebuilding, just reloading. They've got defensive players, Coach, that are in the shadow of a lot of guys from the last few years, but stepping out and making their own way here.
Well, and when you have a team like they had last year, that makes those younger guys want to compete even more, to get to the starting point and do the same thing that the team previously did and go to the state championship and all that. So
Abel Peterman lining up here. He tees the ball up at the 40-yard line. Got a couple of up men for the Ferriday Trojans. Number 2 and number 7 is back there. That's Thomas and Turner that find their way back on the 9-yard line. But Peterman has routinely over the summer and through practices and last year put it into the end zone. And here comes a boot by Peterman, and that one is skied back into the end zone. Automatic touchback as he kicked it out of the back of the end zone.
And if you notice the flag, there's no wind blowing. I mean, he boomed that sucker. Just
all leg, and what an improvement he's made. He was kicking the ball well, but we saw that young man go to get a lot of training over the summer and working on his leg, and I mean, just booming. And that's got to make you proud.
Oh, I like them kickers, man. They're overlooked, but they're an important part of the game.
Trojans will go for it from Ferriday on their second offensive set. The last one ended in a blocked punt in the end zone for a touchdown. They've got it first down and 10 at the 20-yard line. 8:53 to go in this one. The ASH Trojans on top 14-0. Boxley again under center. He's got it. There's that little end around that they like to run, but being strung out well. Getting to the sideline is number 21. A correction, that's number 7, Aiden Turner. Turner was the ball carrier for Ferriday.
They were able to break containment on the end that time. They screwed around and picked up almost the first down.
Yeah, they're going to mark him. Looks like they were trying to give him the first down, but they'll mark it. And with it being a touchback, the nose of the football has to just touch the line, and it did. So they're now resetting the chains. It just had to touch the very tip of the painted 30-yard line, and it does. 10-yard pickup, still negative yardage for Ferriday. 8:42 to go here, first quarter of play from the Butch. Again, Ernie Lott here, bringing you all the action where we'll be all season long. A little bit of motion as Boxley pitches this one to the near side. This time it is complete. Good pressure by John Parrish over there. Monette finishes it off. Ball is down, but a penalty flag on the 27-yard line. So aptly pointed out by PA announcer Ronnie Schwartz here. Great job.
I didn't know if they got that motion or not. It was kind of a late flag.
It is going to be a hold against the Trojans. And, Coach, playing the other side of it, if you're Ferriday, after that poor offensive performance that you had on the first drive, you wanted to come out and get something going, and unfortunately they've got a hold that's going to bring back a pretty big play.
I'm sure Coach had a few choice words for them. They didn't come out looking too sharp. Again, they're moving the ball fairly well right now.
Again, big thanks out to our guys on the camera, Daryl Brown down on the sideline, Roger Walker, and of course our producer Chuck Perkins along for the ride this season. And great to have those guys. First down and 23 now for Ferriday. Boxley back in the shotgun. He's got Williams with him. He's going to roll, keep it himself, try to get to the middle, and that is shut off pretty quick by the Trojans, number 15, Ethan White. Ethan White, the junior linebacker, comes up and makes that play after a pickup of, oh gosh, we'll give him about a yard. So the chain's back a ways. They'll actually give him 3 on the pickup down to the 19-yard line. So still, now even with the first down they picked up in negative territory, yardage-wise, are the Trojans of Ferriday. 7:48 to go in this one. First quarter of play, 14-0. Ash on top. Boxley has Williams in the backfield. Boxley calls for the ball, looking to attempt his first pass of the game, being pressured, going to bring it down and run. Great pursuit by the Trojans, with Boxley getting out of things. What a great block on the side by Ferriday, and he's going to be brought down is Boxley. That's number 17 for the Trojans. Josh Marie and 21, Adiah Jones were in there. Big run like that, Coach, and still third down.
Yeah, well, several Trojans had a shot at him, and some arm tackling going on rather than really putting a hat on him. They could break those tackles, almost pick up the first down.
Coach Severio and those guys will get things sorted out on the tackling. That's been one of the things that you live and die by. You've got to make those tackles and play aggressive. And they've been out on the field now 2 straight possessions, but it's early in this one. Should have the mandatory 6-minute timeout coming up. 3 minutes, or correction, third down and 4. And new quarterback in there is number 1.
I think the helmet came off.
And he's a handoff to the near side. Going to be strung around, and a great job coming up making a play. Adiah Jones, that was Finister that was in at quarterback, but Adiah Jones read that and pursued and just went after it like a linebacker should, Coach, and he's leading the way in tackles for the Trojans tonight.
Well, that's what the linebacker's supposed to do. They can put the shoulder and hat in there and lock him up, and he didn't go anywhere.
6 minutes, 11 seconds and counting. They're going to may hold this thing to the automatic timeout. You know, in the month of September, they have the hydration timeout at 6 minutes just to let the guys automatically get a shot of water, and it is. We're going to take it with them. We'll be back right after this on LA 103.5.
Hydration timeout.
and Ford of Alexandria. And Dallas Hickson in that group always find supporters of all sports, local sports, high school sports, youth sports. Doesn't really matter. That you see them just about everywhere.
High school teachers as well and all that. Golden apple, that's a good thing.
It is 4th down now, back to punch, so we'll see Mingo back. But Mingo's back around the 30-yard line. Again, we're seeing him for the first time. Didn't get an opportunity to run it back. This kick is partially blocked again. And it's going to go out of bounds at the 41-yard line
Trojans
as the
will
Trojans
get the
continue,
ball
Coach, to just come after it.
around the 41-yard line, but it's
Unfortunately,
1st and 10 for your
special teams in
Trojans.
the AA football is one of the areas that don't get a whole lot of work, and kickers that are, not, especially in those size schools, are hard to come by, unlike a 5A school where you got soccer players and all that kind of stuff.
You got to think, if you're a Marion Mingo, you're like, look, let one of them go. Let me kick one. Let me have a shot.
Let me have a shot. Let me run.
Joe Bordelon back out there for his his second possession with a 14-0 lead. He has got Newton in the backfield with him. This time,
Change of
3
formation.
receivers. We've got Mingo in the game. Handoff goes again to Newton. Newton fights his way up the middle and is only going to pick up just a couple. Went right up the middle.
A little slow getting to the hole that time. Big Goodman was leading up on a lead play to the left side, and running back, the hole closed on him before he got there.
5:40 and counting here. First quarter play. Trojans on the move again. Ferriday yet to cross the 50. Mingo back into the slot where he goes. He's got Johnson out there with him, Dalen Hammond, Jarvis Newton, and Bordelon, as no play clock is out there, so they're keeping on there. Bordelon fakes that, and now you see the arm. That one's whipped out to T.J. Johnson, makes a move, spins around out to the 33-yard line. Only going to get about 5 on that one, but you saw that good arm of Joe Bordelon making the play from the middle of the field to the hash, and that's going to bring that jumbo package in. You'll see Harrington come in. Mingo will come out, and our first look offensively at Chris Gorham. Gorham making his way out there. A little bit more of a power back. Chris Gorham is number 22 on your roster. He is the senior running back. Bringing him in there for a little bit more power. So you've got a dual set in the backfield. Borderline calls for the ball. Gorham's going to serve as kind of a fullback this time and give the ball to Newton. Newton is going to get all the way to the 24-yard line, and he's going to be picking up another first down. So Jarvis Newton, and we talked about it, Coach, this was the year that Newton was going to be the workhorse. He had been splitting a lot of carries in the past with the talented stable of running backs that the Trojans had. This year it's his year.
Did a nice job of following the block. He had a good blocking out front to pick up the first down.
4:19 to go, first down and 10. Bordelon on the little bootleg keeper. That is wide open, and it is complete out to Harrington. Harrington has the reception. He gets all the way down to the 17.
Lucky we didn't get a clip on that. Got a block in the background there. But
and they're watching a lot of the blocking. That's one of the big rule changes this year, Coach, is that block below the waist. It has to be instant off the line. You can't pause and then dive down at somebody. It's got to be right away. 3:47 to go here, first quarter play. Trojans up 14-0, and they are marching. Second down and 4. Bordelon with the handoff to Newton. Newton looks left side, inside the 10-5, touchdown, Jarvis Newton. He's got his second touchdown of the game, and that one, Coach, he made look pretty easy.
I was going to say, it was just one little cut there, and it was up, man.
That one's going to come back, though, so his second touchdown is off the board. They're going to call holding against the Trojans, and that will back things back up.
I didn't see the flag. It must have been on the end of the line of scrimmage.
Saw the official, Travis Broussard, make the signal, it looked like, and it is, yeah. Had Travis Broussard as the VP of the Alexandria Officials Association here. Well, great job that he does, of course, head basketball out at Rapides, coach there. But Travis came on our preview show, our high school preview show a couple of weeks, explained a lot of things, and did say that, look, he made a joke about there's always a better view in the stands than there is out on the field. Trojans back at it, second down. We'll see.
Depending on which side you're looking from. If you're the Ferriday side, it was a good call. If you're on the ASH side, that was terrible.
Timeout is taken at 3:21. We're going to leave it right here. The ASH Trojans on top, 14-0. They paid off their first drive with the Jarvis Newton touchdown. Then their defense, their special team scored on the block punt, falling on it into the end zone. And now they are marching on their their second possession, looking for their third touchdown. Had the touchdown pulled off the board due to holding, but now they have it 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Mr. Albritton told me I had to be sure to keep reminding the score. I just told him he needs to listen more carefully because I know you done said the score 14 to
Look,
nothing.
on the first day of play-by-play broadcaster school, they tell you time and score. Time and score. Even with our video broadcasts that we have out on Facebook right now through our radio group, LA 103.5, you can also see it out on 446 Sports. So either way you go there. Added a lot of video to it. We still make it a point to do that, but it's always the time when somebody's not listening that we do that. So
blame it on us. Huh?
Again, Ash on top, 14 to nothing. Early in this one, 3 minutes, 21 seconds to go here. First quarter of play. 2nd down and 8. Bordelon has Gorham in the backfield this time. 2 receivers to the top, 1 lone receiver to the near side. Back to pass is Bordelon. He's looking into the end zone, looks over the middle. That is complete to Minor. Minor receives the slant there. That is a touchdown pass, and they're loving it. And be careful there, you'll get flagged.
Somebody whopped him harder than he got hit. That was Josh, 17. One of his own men knocked him down in the end zone.
That's just a on-the-money throw. I was talking to Bordelon a little bit, and we're going to keep it because we've used both of our timeouts here in the first quarter, so we'll hang on to what we have. Abel Peterman ready for this PAT. It is up, and it is good. 21 to nothing. The Trojans have the lead. So down in the locker room talking to some of the guys before the game, and Coach Bachman said he called Joe over and we talked to him, and he said he'd been getting texts from Judd Barton most of the week. Judd, of course, the quarterback. Anybody that's listened to our broadcast knows who Judd is, and would tell me it's 5 days till game day. It's 4 days till game day. Text him this morning in all caps. It's game day. You know, these alumni and these guys are just as fired up as the kids that are playing right now. So it's good to see, and they're great friends. Judd, of course, the quarterback of the Trojans for a couple of years since Joe came up and sat behind him his freshman and sophomore year, now getting his chance. And it was good to see Judd cheering him on all week long.
That always helps when the alumni, comes back and either whether they're there or stay in touch with the guys, and show that they are part of the program. We've had some of the former players playing with Jacksonville Jaguars, and college guys coming back to support the program. So
back deep to receive. Chavo Thomas Jr. They have been back each time and has been unable to even have an opportunity. If you remember, Peterman put it past the end line on his last attempt. The only thing that may get him out of that is his leg might be getting tired.
Yeah.
21 to nothing. Ash with the lead. 3:11 to go here, just in the first quarter. Peterman puts a leg into it. That one is up, and it's going to find the back of the end zone. Let up a little on that one. It went 9.5 yards deep. Didn't quite get the end line in that one, Coach. But if you're Bachman in that group, all that energy that you put into practice, every bit of it is coming out here in a big way.
And I got to give them credit. They're looking pretty sharp, especially this early in the year. You expect a lot more mistakes, jumping off sides and all that. And so far, we haven't had that situation. One holding penalty so far. It's been pretty clean game.
Don't forget, coming up at halftime, something brand new this year. It is the first South Farm Credit halftime show. Jeff Aiken, our morning host and program director for The Bridge, will be doing that's done radio for about 50, 60 years. He's going to get me for that one because I know he's listening to the broadcast. He's been in radio.
As old as me. Huh?
Good. He does a great job, and he'll be in at halftime doing that. First down and 10. He'll give you scores and updates from around the way. Boxley back in the game. Ball is on the ground. Trojans are going to fall on it. Trojans have the football at the 22-yard line, and that is number 92 getting in there making that reception, and that is Carl Hall. Carl Hall, the big defensive lineman, falling on that one. And, Coach, you can use pretty much any cliche you want to. Wheels coming off, bad to worse, whatever you want to do. But this is getting really bad really early.
Yeah. Now, last year, Ferriday had, pretty salty thing. Well, you know, they went all the way to the playoffs and everything, so you know they're having to replace a lot of guys as well. And right now, unfortunately, wheels kind of wobbling for them.
21-0 in this one. 3 minutes 2 seconds to go. Still in the first quarter. Newton back in there at running back. TJ and Mingo split out to the top. Lone receiver is Hammond to the near side. Back to passes. Joe's throwing it over the middle and just out of the hands, but a pass that was just out of the outstretched hands of Dalen Hammond. Hammond was right there.
2nd and 10.
Look, it's times that I want to say correction when it's not. And mess with my guy down there. 2:55 to go. So glad that you're joining us for game 1 of ASH Trojan football. First incompletion that Bordelon has thrown in this one. He's 2 of 3 with a touchdown. He's got Newton in the backfield with him one more time. Handoff does go to Newton. Newton off to the left side, cuts back to the middle. 10, scoots out to the 5. Newton's going to find the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans. Touchdown, Jarvis Newton. Now his 2nd of the game.
Touchdown.
He's got some quick feet.
27 now to nothing. The Trojans of Alexandria Senior High School take the lead. And Coach, if you Coach Stanley over there, he's done a great job of coaching his kids throughout the years, and they're going to make a tremendous run this season. But I don't know what you're telling them here, except just try to execute as best you can and hold on to the football.
Right. And I'm sure Coach Bachman, you know, things get way out of hand. He's going to put in the 2nd teamers.
It's hard to do that in the first quarter, but you'll see some rotations. That kick is up, and it is good. 2:45 to go here. First quarter of play. We'll keep it right here. Trojans with a big lead, 28-0.
28
Minor with a touchdown reception from Bordelon. Jarvis Newton with 2 touchdowns on the game. Don't forget, we've got the Whataburger What a Play of the Game that we'll award before this one. And the one play that we think makes the difference in this game.
I'm gonna have to talk to Whataburger about getting us a couple of Whataburgers. Maybe.
See, how about that? If we're gonna, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of hungry up here.
Well, you know, normally we've had Hanner in that group down in the corner of the end zone, had the big barbecue pit. Of course, Cole Johnson, the center from the last 3 or 4 years, is up at Northwestern doing a fantastic job over there. But just for old time's sake, we got to see Hanner in that group down there cooking. I see Hanny's waving to us down there, so that's good to see my man Hanner Johnson.
Send me a sandwich or something.
Coach's favorite song, Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
That's it.
We are here at J.L. Butch Stoker Stadium, and the Trojans from Alexandria Senior High School stake to a big lead. This is 28-0 with 2:45 to go. First quarter of play. Peterman ready to set a leg into this one and get things going.
Speaking about Mr. Johnson, you know, Cole is talked to him the other day, and he's running 2nd team with the, you know, with the varsity in NSU. That's quite impressive for a freshman.
Never a doubt in my mind. When you saw Johnson's tenacity as a freshman and a sophomore playing, you knew he was destined for special things there. Peterman ready to get things going. His 4th kickoff, I guess, of the game. Peterman comes up, puts a leg into this one, and it is deep and goes into the end zone. This one about 7 yards deep. Another touchback, and that's just a weapon.
He didn't kick it out of the end zone
because he only went 7 yards deep on it. What a weapon he is, and that's going to make a difference down throughout the season. We've saw it, you know, Caden Reynolds put a leg into it like that. We've seen kickers all along the way that were able to do that. Want a big hello out to all the alumni that's listening in. We know we've got a lot of those. Bud Clark usually tunes in, and he's out there listening to us. Over at TCU is where Bud's at this year, and so glad to have those guys that always tune in on there. Don't forget, if you're following along on Facebook, you can leave us a little comment there. We'll say hi to you, get that going. Trojans from Ferriday have it first down at 10, where they've started most every down has been from the 20, every possession. New quarterback that's in there and running the option, turning it around. Monette spins the running back around, and that is going to be finished off by Josh Marie.
For no yardage on the
Playing
play.
in there at quarterback that time was Finister. We saw Finister come in there when Boxley's helmet came off, pitched it back to Thomas. And so trying some different things to try to get something else going if you are Ferriday. But the same result, Coach, no positive yardage.
Yeah, he's a little bitty scat back. If he gets a little open ground, he might do something. He probably looks like he's about 5'5" and maybe 140 pounds. But,
Trojans have all 11 players within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage, daring Ferriday to throw the ball, have not put it in the air once. Finisher brings a man in motion. They're going to hand the ball off up the middle. Good run at it, but stepping in is Josh Marie once again stepping in. Coach, these guys that played as sophomores last year, now juniors, are making such a big difference out there defensively.
yeah, well, and they've been in the system. That always helps. I was talking to Coach,
Safe pick up
defensive
at 3
coach
yards on the play.
Coach Severio?
Severio, and he said the new linebacker, he says he gets nervous and he stutters a little bit and has a hard time calling a signal.
But he doesn't mind going up and hitting somebody,
yeah,
I can tell you that.
He coming and slapping them in the mouth. So
Minute 17 to go, first quarter of play. Ferriday has it out at the 23-yard line. 3rd down and 7. Finisher still in there at quarterback. Calls for the ball. He's got a man in motion, and that play is just messed up from the start.
I don't know if somebody moved or
maybe a lot of motion
Trojan,
around there.
Trojan went too early. That could have been either or.
That false start against Ferriday. As you saw, just great
Looks like
penetration that time by the
Ferriday.
Trojans. Number 92, Carl Hall. Carl Hall having himself a pretty good game as well.
3rd down, 12.
Looks like the Trojans are staying pretty vanilla as far as defense goes. I'm sure they don't want to show too much either right here before playing St. Thomas more next week. So
that is a big game, and it will be well attended and well viewed. We can tell you that. 3rd down and 12 now, or give it 11 following the penalty. Boxley in there. He's got receivers to the near side, and that's all. Just the one receiver here. They have ran the ball the entire way. He's got Thomas in the backfield with Finister. Finister calls for the ball. He's going to hand it off to Thomas. Thomas trying to get around to the outside. He's going to be pushed out of bounds at the...
And it looks like Ferriday picked up the 1st down.
Let's see where they mark him. Well, he may have had it, but you're going to see personal
looks like there's a
foul
flag
coming
on the
out
play.
at the end of it.
I think they're pushing the Trojan back there. I don't remember.
They're pointing to the ASH side of it, so that's not going to be a good thing. At any rate, this looks like it will be a 1st down, and Ferriday will hang on to it.
I think what he did, Doug, is when he was on the pile, he pushed him down as he got up. You know, that's one of the things. It's a personal foul.
Yeah, they frown on that.
Rather than rolling off or just getting themselves up, he might have pushed him to the ground. I think that's what
It'll go against the Trojans. Looks like a personal foul.
Mr. Referee.
Personal foul goes against the Trojans, but the 1st
pushed him
down
down
was
on the
picked
ground.
up
Already picked up the 1st
already.
down, but it will be a 1st down and 10.
So it'll be marked out at the
Ferriday
44-yard
Trojans.
line is where they will go. 20 seconds to go here, first quarter of play. This has been a solid one. The ASH Trojans on top 28-0.
And the air conditions begin to cool off in here. It's like 79 degrees, man.
It was 99 when we got in, and I think that's just because there's not triple digits on the thermostat. 7 seconds here remaining first quarter. Wouldn't blame Ferriday if they tried to get to the bell and did not. And they do. They take it all the way down to the horn. That's going to wrap up the first quarter of play. Your ASH Trojans out and going in a big way, but Ferriday with their best march of this first quarter. We'll be back in 60 seconds on LA 103.5. has went most of the first half, or the first quarter. He hands the ball off. It's going to be 5-yard pickup on the play. Best drive so far for Ferriday early in this game. That's number 5, Bobby Shepard, that runs that one. He's going to pick up 5 yards.
I got another score here. Doug Sulphur's up on Pineville, 7-6 in the first quarter.
So Sulphur and Pineville doing battle. Again, we said Menard was up in the Monroe area at St. Fred. That game was scheduled for last night, got moved to tonight. And then, of course, Tioga down at Como. You can flip back and forth and catch those on the Stevens Media Group network of stations. Glad to have you here on LA 103.5, 11:15 and counting. Ash on top, 28-0. Second down and 5. Ferriday looking for their first trip into Trojan territory. Back in the shotgun is Ferriday. Boxley's got it. He pitches it behind the line of scrimmage. Running up, making a great play that time was Adiah Jones and Jamari Monette in there on the tackle for no gain. That's going to make it 3rd down and 5.
Another score here. Tioga 0-0 with Como in the first quarter.
Bolton down at Beauchamp, I believe. That one is scoreless, at least on the updates. Don't forget you can check out our friends at GoPreps.com and keep up-to-date live scoring as well as live power ratings. You can do that now. You'll see more of that during the season, but don't forget you can follow GoPreps.com all throughout the season. 49-yard line of the Trojans is where Ferriday has it. 3rd down and 4. 28-0 Ash with the lead just into the second quarter. Ball's on the ground. Sinister's got it again, but he's being pursued by Adiah Jones, and he's brought that is 12. That's Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson on the stop for the Trojans brings up 4th down.
And that's another one of those, Coach, that Coach Bachman and that group is high on, is Jalen Johnson. Was a member of that basketball team for Coach Brasher this past year. TJ Johnson out there back deep, and that is that's kind of shocking. We'd been seeing Mingo out there.
Well, he's probably got a little more experience, a little better hands here. Don't want to give up the ball on your end of the field. I would see that's probably the reason, because before they've been kicking from their end of the field.
Yet the ball has, on I guess a couple of punts, one ball didn't make it past the line of scrimmage. It was blocked in the end zone. The other one made it about 15 yards. And quickly, Ferriday running a man onto the field. 9:20 and counting, and gonna have to.
Once again, special teams is,
delay of game is the call, so that'll back them up 5 yards. Appreciate you joining us on here. My man Roger Walker out there on the camera. That's the one you see right there if you're following along with us on Facebook. Darryl Brown down on the field. Stay tuned for our highlight reel that comes up out of this. Ernie Lott. Chuck Perkins is our executive producer, is what we'll call him, and I am Doug Gann. Here is the punt. It is away. Now TJ is going to wave the folks out of this, and they'll give him about 8 yards on the punt. The Trojans will have it at their own 49-yard line, Coach.
Trojans get the punt.
Ferriday, an opportunity, had the ball across, but then one play, and then it was backed up. And so one time they were in positive territory. The Trojans will start again this one near midfield.
I say if Trojans get another score here, they'll probably start seeing a few subs in the game. I don't know, Coach Bachman, I don't think he'll try to run the score up. But
no, but this is their first time to play anyone. I mean,
yeah,
they're besides the inner squad, the scrimmage got washed. There's Bordelon's got it. Quick pass to the near side. That's Mingo's first reception at Ash. He makes a juke out to the 45, 40. There goes Mingo down the sideline. That's the speed that we heard from Amarian Mingo, and great to have that young man out at wide out. Coach, he can play a little bit of quarterback as well.
That's what we hear. So, you can always use a second backup and, put a little trickeration in, and wide receiver come around, throw the ball, and all that kind of stuff.
Gorham is in there at running back. Chris Gorham giving Newton a little bit of a breather. Gorham gets it, pounds his way into the middle of the field, gets inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. They're going to give him 3 on the play. And the one thing this is doing, Coach, is it's the ability to run a lot of offensive and defensive linemen out there. Skill positions, you won't see a lot of changes, but on that offensive line and defensive line, you're building a lot of experience tonight. 8.5 to go here, second quarter of play, 28-0. Ash with the lead, the football, and the momentum as they are marching. Bordelon's got Gorham behind him. Handoff goes to Gorham. Gorham right up the middle, but is going to be brought down after he gets to the line of scrimmage. Maybe give him a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, Ferriday did a good job of stuffing that play that time. They've been one of the bread and butter plays for the Trojans, and did a good job. The defensive tackle stayed at home this time. Trying to see, it's hard to see the numbers here.
3rd down and 6. 7:53 to go until halftime. Don't forget, we've got the First South Farm Credit halftime show. Looked like nobody moving on that play. Quick hitch out to TJ. TJ's got it inside the 5. TJ down to the goal line and into the end zone. Touchdown. TJ Johnson, his first of the year. And what a big play. We had TJ on the show Thursday night, last night, and they were comparing him to Randy Moss, and that all he does is cut touchdown passes. Last year down the playoff stretch, what a tremendous performance that he had in clutch situations.
Yeah, he looked good this summer as well, and then some of the young receivers coming up, to replace some of the seniors that graduated, they all look good in the 7-on-7, so we're just reloading, hopefully, again this year.
Peterman looking to tack on his 5th PAT. That kick is up, and it is good. 35-0. Trojans have the lead. 7.5 to go. We'll be back right after this on LA 103.5.
Trojans 35. Trojans of Ferriday 0.
Doug Gann alongside Ernie Lott. 35-0 Trojans get the lead. Our Facebook viewers got a glimpse of Judd Barton returning to the sideline. So it was good to see Judd out there. We know he knew he was going to be in the house tonight. He's excited about this one. He's up at Northwestern himself. 7:37 to go until halftime. We'll see if Abel, what he can do with it, kicking it the other direction. And that one is deep and caught a yard deep in the end zone, and that's going to be a touchback. Coach, you don't have your option. Once that ball touches the end zone, you've got no option.
Yeah, and then the pros, they just stand there and wait for it.
Never thought I'd see them adjusting the thermostat up in this sauna-like press box. That's right. He's spoiled down there.
He's getting all there.
Ferriday looking to now, Coach, you're just working, kind of trying to get yourself a little bit of momentum and to work on things, because they're going to be ready to go as this season progresses, but just unfortunately unable to get anything going. Again, 2 weeks on quarantine and just jumping into it. They lose their scrimmage at Jamboree, so this is their first test. That's a tough first test.
No doubt. You'd like to start out with something a little less challenging, but got to give them credit. They're hanging in there, and Faraday's not going to go away. Finister
back in there, quarterback. He's got Williams, and looks like we're going to have a timeout called. Going to keep it right here. We'll give you some sights and sounds of some things that are going along. If you're following along with us on Facebook, we appreciate that. Or if we've gone back to the future and you're watching this at a later date, then we appreciate you coming back and doing this. I'm Doug Gann, starting lot by my side. Big thanks out to Hickson Ford of Alexandria, our title sponsor. Of course, the Saddlers for sponsoring our starting lineup. Don't forget, we've got the CLTCC Keys to the Game. That was new this year. Look, they offer that high set program. That's the high school equivalency test. Easy for me to say. Formerly the GED.
Right.
And so you can go there and it's free to take that and get ready for your, you have to pay for the test when you go and do this, but this is a training that they give you, and anybody can go do that. So we appreciate the folks at CLTCC, Dr. Jimmy Sawtell and that group just doing wonderful things, and we appreciate them being a part of local sports. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, it is the First South Farm Credit halftime show that we'll send it out to our man Jeff Aiken, who is back in the studio, and he'll give you updates from around the way. Back to live action, 7:37 following the timeout. First down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Finister calls for the ball, bangs around up the middle, busted play, pushes off Monette, and now coming to the outside is Finister, and he's a very athletic young man getting around the side, brought down by the Trojans, number 12, and that's Jalen Johnson, his second tackle of the game.
Got a hold on a play there by Ferriday, I believe.
Yeah, you see the flag at the 15.
There's a yellow.
Going back to that CLTCC.
Yes.
You say what you want, Votech is the way to go for some people.
And
today, I mean, you got air conditioning and refrigeration, that part of it, electrician. I mean, those cats make big, big bucks.
And look, they make it easy for you, too. One of the things that they've done is if there's a need, if you're a business looking at coming to this area and there's a need, they don't have the class, they'll develop one,
right,
and they'll put it together. So the vision that's in this area, the aviation thing that's coming to our area, that's a partnership between CLTCC and AEX and LSUA. It's just, it's great to see. Holding was the call, 7:27 until halftime. That ball is back on the 7-yard line. And this is trouble for Ferriday back here. First down and 17. Inside handoff comes around there. Good pursuit by the Trojans, running back into the almost near the end zone, spinning around. And Adiah Jones finally brings down the running back. That was Chavo Thomas Jr.
I almost got a face mask. It was close. I saw the referee. Yep, he got him.
Face mask against the Trojans.
Face mask is going to go against the Trojans. It'll be should be a 15-yard call. Again, no first downs automatically in high school unless it is one of the roughing kind, the roughing the passer, the kicker, the center, the punter. Then you'll see some. So you get a lot of people wanting an automatic first down, but that's on Saturdays and Sundays.
Right. That was one of those inadvertent. He was spinning around. He just happened to reach out and grab a hold of the face mask.
So a lot of action in first down and 13 out of this. 7:02 and counting here, under 7 minutes now. Second quarter of play, 35-0. Ash with the lead. They've scored early and often every time they've touched it, even once when they didn't have the ball. Finister has taken over about the tail end of the first quarter and has been in there at quarterback. Took over for Boxley. Coming to the near side and blown up on that by the defensive end, crashing off the backside. And that was just a tremendous play, Coach, off of the right as we're looking at it. That is Jeremiah Jeffers' right. First time, and we've seen him crash off of the right side as Faraday's heading to the baseball field. If you follow it and you're looking at your radio, it's left to right. If you're familiar with this area, their backs are against Jackson Street, heading towards the baseball field. Great crowd in here. Looks like they were almost taken out of the game, Coach, in this one because Ash has put up so many points. Good to see their ASH Trojans on top of this one. Ferriday brought a pretty good crowd with them, and that's the official 6-minute timeout. We'll keep it right here. Coach, and your thoughts on the first, 18 minutes or so?
Well, I've really been impressed by the Trojans. I really thought they would have a lot more mistakes than they had. Of course, Faraday's helped them with a good field position for the most part, but usually this early in the season and with a limited number of practices that they've been able to have, they've looked pretty sharp. But of course, the summer program helped, when you go and play 7-on-7, the offensive part of it, they except for the linemen, not being there, but they've looked sharp and very few mistakes on their part on offense or defense for that matter.
One of the things that 7-on-7 does, not only does it do great with working on the skill players, but you don't see any offensive linemen, defensive linemen out there getting hurt.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things. These skill players can go at and there's no physical contact that you saw in a lot of those summer scrimmages and things like that. So, again, Ernie Lott bringing you ASH Trojan football. We'll be here all throughout the season. It was 9 games last year, 4 regular season and 5 playoff. Ended in that game in Northwestern Stadium. You all remember that?
That was a heartbreaker. Don't even bring it up, Doug.
It was a tough one. We've called a lot of games, and that one was something else. 2nd down and 16 following that loss. Finished her in there at quarterback. He's got the ball spinning around, and the ball's on the ground. Trojans with an opportunity, and it looks like they're going to come up with it. And the Trojans do have it.
They were in the backfield that time, and the running back.
15 is the one that picked that up for the Trojans, number 15. Ethan White, the junior linebacker, the recipient of that one. And the Trojans coach are right back at it.
35-0, and fixing to make it 42 unless something drastic changes there. Of course, see if we got some new faces, or are they still?
I don't see. I mean, you've got to work on what you're doing, and yeah, Joe is going to stay out there. I expect through one drive into the 3rd quarter is where I would expect they'll see how he responds to coming out of the half. Gorham in the backfield now. You got Minor spread out to the slot, and there are whistles before the play.
Whistles before the play.
That one was thrown in the end zone is where it at, similar to perhaps a delay. Surely not.
Back judge
looking at
it,
illegal substitution against the defense is what you're going to have.
Illegal substitution against Ferriday.
And just unfortunately, Ferriday has not really been able to get any sort of momentum in this one, Coach.
They got some good-looking hands. I mean,
absolutely they do.
They're going to be
Bordelon with a quick hitter out to Hammond, and that's completed the end zone touchdown. And you're going to hear a lot of that this year. Joe Bordelon, Dalen Hammond, 3rd touchdown pass, I believe, for Bordelon in this game. And, Coach, 41-0 with 5:40 to go until halftime, and that PAT pending.
That's what amazes to me about the kicker. He's what do you think, 5'5", 120 pounds?
He's not much, but he's solid when it comes in.
He got most of it must be leg.
Extra point is up, and it is good. We're going to be back in 60 seconds. Trojans big, 42-0, 5.5 to go on LA 103.5. Didn't get our return liner in there, but used up a lot of it. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, it is the First South Farm Credit halftime show. We appreciate those guys for sponsoring us and all of the sponsors that got on board this year. There's still time if you want your business to be part of ASH Trojan football. Just give us a call. You can reach out to us on our Facebook page or call us there. Send a telegram, whatever you want to do, and we'll get you taken care of. Peterman puts a leg into this one, and it is back into the back end of the end zone for another touchback. And, man, that leg of Abel Peterman, Coach, is really impressive.
I tell you what, if somebody don't give him a look, something bad wrong. He kicks the ball well, not only on kickoff, but extra points and field goals.
Yeah, puts it into the end zone every single time, and what a difference that makes. 5:39 to go in the first half of play. Ferriday has the ball out at the 20-yard line, where they've had it most of the night following the kickoff as that ASH Trojan return team. Coach, and one time we saw last year when the kicker wouldn't quite get it to the end zone, your kick team is expecting the ball to go into the end zone, and so
like what?
They're not necessarily going down there as hard, and so Peterman's just going to have to continue to put the ball in the back of the end zone.
One of the Ferriday Trojans limped off the field there. They're going to have to make a substitute. Probably going to get a delay of game here.
Look, and you hate to see it too, because I'm telling you, through the years and even tonight, this Ferriday Trojan team is a scrappy, scrappy bunch. They have fought just like their head coach, Stanley, who gets in there, and it is a delay of game on there. You had no choice.
Yeah. We played them back when I was coaching down at Bunkie back in the 80s, and man, look, the game away from the dome, and of course they beat us by a touchdown, and they had some super athletes. They've always had some real good athletes, and for AA, like I say, they give them a couple of games under the belt, and they'll be right there, I think.
Finister back in there at quarterback. They've got it at the 15-yard line, looking to run the option, and it is blown up from the inside of it. What a tremendous, tremendous play. That's Jeremiah Jeffers Wright with his second big play. How about this? Just a sophomore, Coach. Goes 6 foot, 240, 245, and just another big defensive lineman that the Trojans are going to produce. 5:15 to go, first half. Ash well in command of this one, 42-0.
If I was the quarterback right now, I'd be running for my life, because they're not getting a whole lot of blocking by the front line up there right now. Trojans are just pulling through the gaps.
So officially credit the special teams touchdown to the special teams unit. Defense yet to score. They've got Ferriday backed up to their own 5-yard line. You know they would like to put something in the end zone here. Finister calling for the ball. His heels on the goal line. Handoff right up the middle, and he's going to be brought down right away. Met right away. Number 46 is Matthews. Gary Matthews in there once again, making that big play. And
I'm glad you can see, man. My eyes must be getting bad. I swear, I'm having a hard time picking the numbers out.
Here, I'm going to give you this one, and I'm going to take that back so I don't have to reach over you anymore.
Give me the special ed version so I can see it.
And take that. 4:16 and counting until the half. It is third down and 24. Third down and 24. Ball sits at the Ferriday 6-yard line. Finister has Shepard in the backfield with him. Finister calls for the ball. Handoff to the far side. Stepping around, going to be brought down in the middle of the field. Good defensive play there. That's Ethan White. Ethan White, the junior linebacker, making that stop.
A little draw play, but of course they haven't thrown the ball, so that really didn't fool the Trojans a whole lot. But,
and something that's been trouble all night, Coach, for
the kicking game
is the special teams unit for Ferriday. Have yet to see their kickoff team. Remember, they deferred in the first half. Well, no, they kicked the first one. So
I think if I was Trojans here, I'd just play kick safe and just let them get it off.
I think, yeah, if you're the Trojans, you let yourself set up and see if you can get a return. Ball is on the ground, so we're not coming after it. Low line drive. TJ's going to get it at the 45. TJ now to the 40, now 35-30. 25-20 goes TJ. 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Trojans, touchdown. TJ Johnson and a penalty flag at the 34-yard line, the 32 and 31. Now that one's going to come back. But what impressive running by TJ Johnson. The band's playing, the cheerleaders are dancing, but that one's coming back.
If they were listening to us, they would know that it was a flag on the play.
That's right. 2:53 away from halftime.
Waving it off.
Waving it off, then strike the band up and give TJ the touchdown on special teams.
They knew it all along. What do we know?
48 now to nothing. Second special teams touchdown for the Trojans. One was a block punt, and that was a beauty of a 45-yard punt return touchdown by TJ.
Well, they give St. Thomas More something to look at for sure. Then they got to cover the special teams, the passing game, the running game. Of course, now they got some studs down there too,
Always do. It's going to be a big one. That is next week. High snap. Peterman retrieves that. He's got to get that out of there. And he goes down. So the high snap causes the missed PAT. 2:53 to go. Going to keep it right here. Our next break will be halftime.
I didn't want to say anything, but last 2 or 3 snaps have been behind Joe. and he's been able to pull it back over. But that time it was way out of the way, and he couldn't get to it. But that's a overlooked thing too. You know, we had to replace the center from last year, and so that's
Trojans
one area that needs some work. Who is this new center, by the way? Is it the same one on extra point, or as the regular guy? Let me see. I can't hardly see the numbers here. I'm going blind.
Trojans looking good tonight. Trying to work and make sure that we are back out there in radio land.
Yeah.
Not seeing the bounce on what we're doing. So
you looking to the wrong man to tell you anything about that. Cell phones is about as complicated as I get.
we're going to try to switch back over and see. We'll be back to this in just a moment. I connected.
Another touchback for Peterman. Trojans of Ferriday will get the ball on the 20.